Alright gamers, welcome in to Retro Timed. I am Gnosis Timed, and I just wanted to talk about a video I watched today from another YouTuber that I did some research on. Now, I saw somebody's post after this video dropped. And yeah, let's just get into it because I'm gonna explain it better to you that way. So this whole thing for me started today when I saw this video. Netflix disrespects Scott Pilgrim and fans in Scott Pilgrim takes off the animated series, okay? So Netflix brought the Scott Pilgrim show out and it caught some backlash due to lack of critical thinking amongst people, lack of research amongst people, and people just assume stuff and so on and so forth. So I did a little investigation myself on this, I wanted to challenge this video here for this reason. And I wanted to challenge this statement right here, which is the original reason I had to go and check this out, because this post was what this video was about. Now, I highly admire this YouTuber, so don't go harass her. She's she has a lot of good takes. Just don't go and harass anybody on anything I am saying here. This is just my point of view, but some research needed done. All right. So, Vex Electronica, fan of the Scott Pilgrim books and film, and 2010 film, and question mark, then skip Netflix modern adaptation. Scott Pilgrim takes off. Scott gets killed off in the first episode, and it becomes a reimagining with Ramona facing off or against her exes. Don't recommend it. 2 out of 10. So what is going on here is a lot of people are seeing this as the woke movement taking over or whatever it is. I don't really know what to say about it because I don't look into this too much. But I looked a little deeper myself. So I saw this post today from Kevin Kenson, and he said the first episode of Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is perfect. So one thing I want to point out, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off is the title of this show, all right? So, I did investigation solely for asking what it is and why this is happening in this show. So, we go over to Google, and I type the Scott Pilgrim die in Scott Pilgrim Takes Off. And it says, yep, Scott Pilgrim isn't actually dead. What he really is a time traveler. When Scott vanished during his battle with Matthew Patel, it wasn't because he was killed. So basically, I guess it sent him back in time. I'm not sure what the premises of this, but it's for me, I've always seen Ramona Flowers as a very, very she's more of an aggressive female that can stand her own, and that's probably why they did this to her, because Scott Pilgrim has always been that nerdy person like myself, and that's why, like, a lot of people were mad about this. But when if he does go back in time, which if you watch the 2010 movie, you see this weird ending, and he's with Ramona Flowers, so this could connect back to the actual storyline of Scott Pilgrim. Now, my take on this is I didn't watch the first episode yet. So, but let me do my outro real quick. So, my general take on this whole entire thing is don't listen to what everybody says on the internet. You must first go and do some research on these events you see on the internet and just stop assuming stuff. We see a lot of people type weird things up, and then we question the reality of it. Now, we should all know that they weren't going to do that to Scott Pilgrim in this show. All right, that's a given. They would never do that to the main character. Okay, so what this sounds like to me is they had something very, very comparable to what we saw in Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That's what this is going back to. Because if you played the opening to Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, you learn that she fell off a cliff, and the power of light took her back through time, which is how the story starts off. Now, I don't know what happens in this show yet, and I will eventually check it out because I do want to see what is going on here and why people are saying this. But people need to people need to get over the first episode and continue to watch it to see what it's about. Now, I don't really pay I don't pay too much attention to this kind of stuff here. Basically because of, I have to go in and make my own choice about it. And I don't really go see movies anymore. I'm not a fan of movies. And that's what Melonie Mac's main thing is. She talks about movies and things they do in video games, okay? I can say sometimes I have topics like that here, but this is a topic that needed to be researched before anything was said. And the lady who made that post, that tweet on Twitter, I didn't say anything to her, but she should have rethought about making that tweet. Anybody who makes a tweet and just assumes something is not really giving something thorough time. Like, example, you could literally sit there and play the first part of a game and be like, man, this game's no fun. But as you continue to play that game, you start to realize that maybe the game is fun if you can get it past a certain part. Because for me, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, it wasn't an instant pickup, okay? It took a little bit to take off. Same thing with Xenoblade Chronicles 1. Xenoblade Chronicles 1 took a little bit of time to take off, and so did 3. 2 took off pretty fast. So, I'm just saying, with these stories, you got to give it time to adapt, and then see what it is later on down the road. You can't just automatically assume. Now that I did that research, I kind of want to go watch this show, just to see what it is. But I do believe it's going to make for a good continuation of the Scott Pilgrim series. Scott Pilgrim, the original movie, was good. I started reading the graphic novels, and I didn't know anything about this graphic novel existing until the movie came out. And I freaking love the 2010 movie. And I hope, they do it again at some point. But this is an example of why you don't pay attention to everything on the internet. And ladies and gentlemen, I will say this. At the end of the day, again, I like Melonie Mac, but there are some things she says that I just don't agree with. Like, you're not going to agree with everything everybody says. But also, don't go throwing hellfire at them either. So, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you liked this here. This was more of a video that was different from most of my video game videos. I have a video coming up in the future for you guys that's going to be really Zelda lore related. But until then, guys, I'll see you next time. Please subscribe to the channel. Also, hit the like button if you did like this. And also, if you did subscribe, hit the notification bell for me, and I'll be seeing you next time. Keep gaming, gamers. Take it easy.